Hello, this is Talon with Old Guy Stuff on Busy Corner Lane. I'm a retired math teacher. And one thing that I've learned from 25 plus years of teaching math is that the textbook approach to solving certain types of problems is not necessarily the best way for every single student. Occasionally you come across a student that would just benefit from an alternative approach or a different way of thinking their way through the solution process. So, with multiplying two binomials, the tried and true process as done with every math teacher I've ever met is the F.O.I.L method. Now, I came up with one about 25 or so years ago that I call the F.O.O.L method. Now, after you see this method, if you're a person that came up with this more than 25 years ago, I don't mean to be taken away from you. It's just I hadn't seen anybody else do it. But when I have a student that struggles with F.O.I.L, I teach F.O.I.L, and everyone I've used the F.O.I.L method with has excelled on these type of problems. So, we're going to do this problem first. I'm going to give you time to do it on your own. And then I'm going to show you how I would do it, just to make sure that we're on track with each other. Then I'll show you how I would do the F.O.I.L method for the same problem. Then I'll give you a problem to do on your own with the F.O.I.L method, and then I'll do it afterwards so we can compare. And then I'll show you why I think the F.O.I.L method actually makes more sense. So, here we go. I'm going to give about 10 seconds, and you can pause because I know 10 seconds is not enough time for most people to solve these. Okay, so 10 seconds, pause if you need to. Go. 5 and 10. Pause if you need to. I'm going to show you what we do. Okay, according to the textbooks, we're going to write this part out. First thing in each binomial is an F because it's first. The last thing is an L. And then the outside parts, or the opposite parts, right? In this one and this one, those are going to be O's. The only thing that's left over are these two. That's the inside part. They're going to be I. Now, I've seen people work it vertically like this, and I've seen people work it horizontally. I prefer horizontally. So that's how I'm going to do this. And that gives me a little bit of space, and it's all going to be in the right order when we're done. Okay, so let's start with the first part. I'm going to have 2x times x. And that's 2x squared. The O part is 2x times 1. So that's 2x, and it's positive, so we're going to put a plus sign in front of it. Then the I part is 3 times x. 3 times x is 3x. That's positive, so we're going to put a plus sign in front of it. And the last part is 3 times 1. And 3 times 1 is 3, and it's positive, so we're going to put a plus sign. Now, we're combining like terms. The only like terms in this line are the coefficients with the variable x and no exponent other than 1. So I'm going to have 2x squared plus, and 2x and 3x is 5x. And I've got a positive 3 left over. So that's our solution of this. 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Let's set this up with the F.O.I.L method. Now in the F.O.I.L method, I call F.O.I.L method vertical stacking because when you rewrite it, you stack it up vertically. Now then, we're going to stack this up vertically, and I'll go ahead and write my F's and L's. Because the first thing on each line is the F, and the last thing on each line is the L. And then what we have for the O's is the opposites. In other words, the first thing here times the last thing on that line. And then we have this opposite. The first thing on this line times the last thing on that line. So those are opposites. So if I wrote this out, I'm going to have 2x times x which is 2x squared. My first though, and it does not really matter what order I do them in, I'm going to do this one. X times 3 is 3x, so x times 3 is 3x. That's positive. And I've got 2x times 1 is 2x. That's positive. Then I have 3 times 1, and that's positive. Now when I combine my like terms, I'm going to have 2x squared. 3x and 2x is 5x plus 3. And if you compare them, they're the same. Okay? So let's practice the F.O.I.L method on another problem. Not worry about F.O.I.L, but just the F.O.I.L method. And let me show you why I think it's actually a good approach, especially if people are having problems with F.O.I.L. Okay, so first things first. I'm just going to get rid of these lines here, and we'll move this over that way. So let me write out another problem here. How about this one? What if we said 3x plus 2 and say 5x plus 4. Use some bigger numbers here. Okay. I'm going to just kind of be quiet for about 10 seconds. You can pause as you need to have more time and see if you can solve this using the F.O.I.L method. So 10 seconds, go. And it's 10 seconds. Pause it if you need to, but I'll show you what I would do for the F.O.I.L method here. Okay, first I'm just going to rewrite it. I'm going to have 3x plus 2 and 5x plus 4. Okay, I'm just going to write them down. Just my first and my last. And note that my opposites go that way. So, myself some room. So, 3x times 5x is 15x squared. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. 5x times 2 is 10x. Is positive. If I had negative numbers in here, I would have a minus sign and not a plus sign. I got 3x times 4 is 12x. That's positive. And I got 2 times 4. That's 8. And it's positive. This is the line where I combine like terms. So I'm going to have 15x squared plus 10 plus 12 is 22. So it's 22x. And then plus 8. That's my solution. Now, let me show you why I think this is a good alternative. Okay? Back all this stuff out. I'm going to take numbers that do not have coefficients. Okay? What if I took the number, say, 25, and I'm going to multiply it by 12. Now, what is 25? Well, 25 is 20 plus 5. I just turned 25 into a binomial. Okay? In the same regard, what is 12? It's 10 plus 2. Okay? Now, if I wrote this out as my first and last, and I set this up for the F.O.I.L method, I would have this. I would have 20 times 10, which is 200. 10 times 5 is 50, positive. 20 times 2 is 40, positive. And 5 times 2 is 10, that's positive. And I add them up. Okay, so 10 and 40 is 50, plus 50 is 100, plus 200 is 300. We multiply it over here. Okay. 5 times 2 is 10, so carry my 1. 2 times 2, that's 4. Add my 1, that's 5, so I have 50. 2 times 25 is 50. I got to have my placeholder 0. Why do I have a placeholder 0? Well, if you look over here, I've got zeros. Now, why do I have zeros? Because this 2 is actually 20. 25 is 20 plus 5, so I've got to have a placeholder 0. That's why we have placeholder zeros. Okay? So now if I just multiplied 1 times 25, I'd have 25. And if I added these together, 0 and 0 is 0, 5 and 5 is 10, carry my 1, 1 and 2 is 3. I get the same thing. If I did this with different numbers, okay? I did this with different numbers. Say I had 23 and I have 14. This is the same as 20 plus 3 and 10 plus 4. So if I did my F.O.I.L method, okay, 20 times 10, 200. 10 times 3, 30, positive. 20 times 4 is 80, positive. 3 times 4 is 12, also positive. If I add these together, that's 92 plus 30 is going to be 122. And if I add this 200 to 122, I'm going to get 322. Let's try it over here. 3 times 4 is 12. Get my 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Add my 1 is 9. Get my placeholder 0. 1 times 23. Add them up. 2 and 0 is 2. 3 plus 9 is 12. Carry my 1. Add those up. Same numbers. This is why I think the F.O.I.L method is the best way to go. Because we're already used to multiplying in this manner. We're just not aware of that. Please leave a comment if you'd like. My name is Talon. This is Old Guy Stuff on Busy Corner Lane. Have a safe, happy, peaceful, wonderful day, and goodbye.